Okay, this guy is just a small little UniView 4-port IP NVR network video recorder. So yeah, it's just got some hard drive. It's running properly. It's got internet, and a hard drive is just a couple LEDs on the front. And this guy, so it does say PoE there. So it's getting, these ports, these 4 ports, camera ports, will send power and communication to the camera. So you don't have to worry about a separate power supply or anything like that for these cameras. There is audio in and out options if you had, like maybe a microphone or a speaker set up near your camera, or your camera had a microphone on it. Some models do. That's where the audio in and out would come out, and the audio out would go to a speaker type of thing. This is your internet, your LAN, your local area network. So that would go out to your internet, and then you'd be able to pull this, you'd be able to log into this video recorder from your computer or your phone or your tablet, or remotely off-site. You could do that as well. So it's if you want to have a local system, that's cool. You don't need the local area network set up. But if you want to see the system off-site, then you gotta plug it into the network. This is a VGA and an HDMI here. VGA goes to some older school monitors and that type of thing, like a computer monitor. The HDMI it has a 4K output, so it can go into a 4K TV or a 1080p TV, or a newer monitor, a TV, whatever. HDMI is kind of the standard nowadays that everyone uses. So USB, you could use this for your mouse. A USB mouse comes with these as well, so that would get plugged in there. And then the other one could go to a keyboard, or if you needed to grab footage off of this system, then you can put a little thumb drive in there or an external hard drive, and then just grab the footage if you needed it for police or insurance or whatever the situation was. You just basically export the footage onto a drive and then pull it out, give it to the cops or whoever needs it. And then power is right here as well. So that's kind of the what's going on with the back of these things. And I'll open it up shortly here and show you what's going on inside as well. So like I said, there was that USB mouse that comes with it. There is a power supply, transformer, and that goes into the system. The other end goes into your 120 volt power. And then these guys are for your hard drive. So some of these systems, I believe this one only has space for one hard drive like this. It's an internal hard drive. This is just an old one I had, but so this is usually if you get these hard drives, there's a purple one, and purple is made for CCTV systems. You can get these in different kinds, and anyway, they have got a bunch of different specs on them, but the purple ones are made to be running constantly for CCTV systems. So it's a good idea to use that purple if you can. But this is just one I had laying around, so I'll kind of demonstrate with that one. But these two run into the main circuit board of the NVR, and then they plug into the hard drive, giving it power and communication. And that way this hard drive stores all your footage. And then, like I said, you can grab the footage off of there later if you needed to put it on a stick or something. And then these 4 screws also come with it. And these 4 little screws screw into the back of this hard drive, and then they lock it down to the bottom of this NVR. So I'll open this up and we'll take a look at what's going on there, and show you how to install a hard drive in these. And then there's also some little rubber feet or felt feet that go on the bottom of these as well, just to keep it right here, to keep it off the give it a little airflow underneath and keep it off whatever you're sitting it on. So that is basically kind of the rundown of one of these systems, and then we'll get into it and I'll show you about the hard drive in a second. Thanks. Okay, so I've got this, got this taken apart a little bit here. So these guys, all that happened here was this sits over top. Get these in the way now. But this guy sits over top and just sits in like that. And then there's 4 screws around the outside of this NVR. So you just undo those 4 screws. It's just a Phillips head screwdriver you're gonna need. So you undo those screws and then just push it back. That comes off. And then, like I showed you, this hard drive, there's the 4 holes on the back. So all I did was I put these 4 screws in, also Phillips head. So I put those 4 screws in just a little bit, and then you can sit it and then seat it over to the left and then finish screwing them down from the back. And then these 2 cables, this blue one is the exact same on both ends. There's a little, it looks like a little L. So just pay attention to where the back of that little L is. And then that seats in. And then, so if you see this guy here, there's a little L on the back of that. So you just kind of copy where that's going, and then that'll seat in like that. And then this guy, there's only one spot for that to go, and that is right here. And there's 2 little kind of, little pieces of plastic that come up there. So those sit in right in where it should there. So that is basically it. Power and communication are going to this hard drive, and then anything this NVR records will get stored on the hard drive. This is just a tiny little unit. If you go, that's a 4 camera. If you go to some 8 or 16 or 32 systems, they'll have 2 spots for 2 hard drives. So say, and then you can put, depending on how many cameras, you're gonna need a certain amount of footage, whether you're running the cameras so that they're recording continuously, or if you're running them so that they only record when the camera sees motion. So all these, there's some different factors for how big of a hard drive you need, or if you need multiple hard drives. But for these little units, they just have the 1 bay. And there's no fans inside this thing. For the bigger units, they also have like a fan bringing air in and another fan pushing it out, just so there's some airflow and it cools down the electrical components and that type of thing. But that is basically it for these tiny little units. Put in your hard drive. Some of them come pre-installed with hard drives as well. So if they come pre-installed, obviously you don't need to buy one of your own and do this. It just comes from the factory like that. So that is kind of the way things are set up here. And you don't need to mess around with too much else. That's basically all you got to do. Just slip that guy over. That guy over. That sits in like that. Screw down your 4 screws, and you're good to go. And then once you power this unit up, if that hard drive has never been used, you're going to need to initialize it, and then that'll get it going into normal operation. Or if it came from a different, say you had a hard drive kicking around that was used for something else, you would need to initialize it as well. It basically wipes everything that's on there, and then it'll work properly in your unit. But it will take out all the memory that's in that hard drive when you initialize it. So make sure if it came from a different NVR or a different system, make sure you grab what's on there that you need and then put it into a new system, initialize it, because it will wipe it. So that's pretty much it for these guys. I'll put the screws back in, and we'll get on to the next one. Okay, thanks.